Welcome to the Power Shed. This is a little project for today. I have a bunch of oddball 12 volt panels, and it goes into a 12 volt battery, so there's really no need to go PowerPoint on these because they're all odd voltages. So I just built this little PWM system that runs off my Arduino, and let's start out with this. I love these little power supplies. They're 12 volt, 1.2 amp, and they'll work down at 50 volts fairly nicely for having a nice little isolated supply for making a high side driver. I like using FETs. FETs, you don't get as much current, they're less reliable. These FETs are available anywhere. So inside is this little power supply, and I make a couple modifications to it. D1 is up at the top, and they keep going down. D1 I remove and just make a shorting bar. D2 stays in place, and D3 and D4 are removed. That changes it to a half-wave rectifier, and we lose one voltage drop. And some of these don't start very well on 50 volts. Right below the capacitor is a 2.2 mega ohm resistor. It's R1, and I replace that with anything from 100K up to 680K. It seems to work fine, so I try 270 or 330K. That should work fine with these. So simply, I have an Opto isolator driver, 220 ohms into the LED on pin 1, and this is what I have. I make these. I put a little hot melt glue on the end of the leads and put some heat shrink over it. It's almost indestructible. It's a nice little clean looking unit, and you can use that to drive it. I have that on this one. Here's a finished. So the 12 volt supply, turn that up to like 13.5 volts. You want to get as much voltage as possible. And I drive the Opto isolator, the Opto transistor feeds the LED, and that goes to the gate, and we have a 1.2K pull down resistor. And the solar panels go to the drain, which is the tab, and the source goes to the battery, and works kind of nice. And this can be used to drive all sorts of things. I've gone to using grid tie panels. I do 2 in series. That gives you about 60 volts, which is more than enough to operate these things, and it saves you from having to use FETs. Ends are more common, and they're more durable, and they'll be higher power and cheaper. So this is a neat little trick to do. This was an old piece of automation. I got a green LED which I moved from the board. That shows the power is on, and the red one shows that the unit is being driven. You could do this with pumps, anything. Like I say, these supplies are only $1.25 shipped from China. I don't know how they do it, but they're a neat little supply, and you can make a nice little high side driver. And as far as FETs, I use a IRF 3205. I pull them out of old UPSs. If you wanted to put 2, 3, or 4 FETs in parallel for even higher current, you could do that. But this makes a nice little driver, and you're running at 480 hertz, clean enough. So thanks for watching. Hope you can use this.